Hello everyone, my name is Isha Singhal. I'm a second year undergraduate student at IIT Kharagpur. I'm a student member at Students Branding and Relations Cell. As a part of Spotlight series, today we have with us Ms. Devaki Nandana, batch of 2023, an associate at BCG and former vice president of IIT Kharagpur. So Devaki, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. Thanks, Isha, for having me here. As she already introduced myself, Devaki Nandana. Full name is Vardhinidi Devaki Nandana Varalakshmi, which used to be a tough question during the grooming and assimilation programs those days to tell the name of VP Gymkhana. Uh, yeah, she mentioned I'm a 2023 graduate from the Department of Geology and Geophysics with a minor in economics and a micro specialization in entrepreneurship and innovation. I was a boarder of Mother Teresa Hall of Residence. Currently, I'm working with BCG's Bangalore office as an associate. Yeah, I think that's more or less about me, Isha.
Thank you, Devki. So, as we all know that you have explored various career options like ML, AI, or project roles. So, what led you pursue consulting and end landing up into BCG?
Okay, talking about my career choice in consulting, right from my first year, I did try exploring multiple domains or profiles. As usual, I started with Andrew NG, ML course, struggled a lot to complete but never completed it actually. Did do some data science, AI, ML interns in my second and third years. I did projects at ISB and worked at some startups on various projects. But with the course of projects or while exploring multiple opportunities at different firms, I also did business analyst intern, a product management intern, consult interns, or I also worked on finance courses and all. I understood that what excites me the most is problem solving and the impact that I can create with the work I do. And then I got to know from my seniors that consulting is a career choice which offers you similar experience where you get to work with different clients and different industries, you get to work on real life problems and you provide solutions for that and you see the impact visualizing or realizing in front of you. That really sounded interesting for me and that made me choose my career choice in consulting. And I started my consult prep with that in my mind and eventually landed at BCG.
It's really fascinating. So, could you share the projects that you were previously involved in or you are currently working at BCG? And what's your perspective about the work culture there?
Got it. At BCG, I started with a consumer goods a client where I got to work with a major MNC where my work majorly used to be in a lot of Excel crunching. I used to work on huge data sets, on Excel, driving insights from them, and identifying the problems, and then proposing solutions for that. Then the solutions that I used to propose used to get implemented. Then I need to do impact assessment for the same. That used to be like really interesting, but at the same time, I used to feel it exhausting because it involved a lot of Excel crunching. But at that time, my team did help me a lot. A team can be your biggest strength at times. So that time has come when I used to struggle with huge data sets and my team used to help me a lot and we used to do a lot of work together so that we developed a lot of bonding. So that used to be like really good time with my first project. Then at my second project, I worked with an industrial plant. So that was a really enriching experience considering that I used to get to talk to the factory workers, to the top level management of the firm. In the first 6 months at BCG itself, I got an opportunity to do a CEO presentation. And I was there like till the end of that assignment with BCG, did all the CEO presentations and all. And that was one of the most exciting and enriching experiences I had so far And currently, I'm working with some of the public sector clients in South India, and that there also I get a lot of client exposure, and which I'm truly enjoying.
So that was sounds like an enriching experience. So based on your journey so far, like what advice would you like to give to young students who want to pursue consulting?
So far in consulting, uh, from my experience, so for this question, I want to give answer being on the other side of the table. Till a couple of years ago, I was on the other side watching this kind of videos available over YouTube or going through the blogs that are circulated across the campus and all, just to figure out what different profiles mean or what exactly people do in that profile or what their day to day work life looks like. But now that I'm on the other side of the table, having a full time work experience at BCG, my major takeaways have been if you have like multiple tasks at hand, you cannot say that I'm excellent at one task so that I'll mess up all the other three tasks. That is not acceptable. And if I say that I'm excellent at one task, I'll just manage decent enough with other tasks, then yeah, you can be an average performer. But what is expected out of you, or what is expected out of an employee of a top notch consult firm, is you need to be excellent at every task that you take up. So, that in one word is excelling at multiple tasks or multitask management is something that you need to really excel at. And the other thing is the stakeholder management. Just like when I was talking about my client experience at BCG, I worked at like various clients, be it an MNC or a factory where I was going and talking to a factory worker. Next day I was talking to a CEO. Or you will have internal communications as well with your team, with your project leader and all. So stakeholder management also comes really handy during your work at BCG. And the third one is you need to be really alert and really diligent with your observation, because problem solving comes with that. You just need to be observant about the things around, or you just need to be observant on the data that you work with. Now, based on these, like if I need to suggest something for the students who are willing to apply for consult, or who are willing to appear for consult, let us talk in the KGP terms. Your CV has 3-4 major sections. First section may be your academic profile, followed by your internships or project experiences, then your positions of responsibility, and then maybe some achievements, competitions, extra academic activities. You cannot say that I'm having an excellent CGPA so that I'll just be empty with all the other fields. I won't do any internship, I won't do any project, I won't take any positions of responsibility, I won't do just anything. I'll just have a perfect 10 by 10 CGPA. I don't think that's an ideal scenario too. So that's what I was telling, right? You cannot say that I'm excellent at one task so that I'll mess up at all the other. The I do agree, like it's really tough to maintain that perfect balance or to excel in all the things at a time. You cannot excel at your CGPA and then having some lucrative internships and then having multiple or very so-called very big PORs, or then having very strong extra academic activities, being part of all the inter-IIT or say this GC gold winning teams and all, or having competitions and all. This sounds really hectic, right? I do agree that you cannot excel in all the fields at a time. But what I say is excel in that field or in those fields that you are really passionate about, and try to be decent at all the other fields. But don't try to mess up with any field. So, this does require continuous effort, perseverance, but that does prepare you for your life at consulting, where you need to be excellent at every task that you take up. Along with that, you also need to be dynamic, quickly adaptive. When you move from one client to the other client, you need to quickly grasp the things around you, develop knowledge about that, and you need to be equal to a kind of industry expert when you're working with a client. They expect you to be having decent knowledge in the field. So yeah, that is again being dynamic is another quality. I think that pretty much in terms of CV, I have given explanation of what a student aspiring for consult profile should have.
That were some really great insights. So, how did your experience as a KGPM help you work there at BCG?
KGP did teach a lot, so I feel all the points that I have mentioned in my previous question answer, be it stakeholder management or multitask management, or be it being diligent or being a dynamic person, all these four qualities are something that I picked up during my time at KGP, because when you are, say, let us suppose you'll be having your classes all the time, classes, labs, assignments, exams. At the same time, you'll be having illumination work at hall. At the same time, you'll have some work at the society. At the same time, you will have some personal engagement. Maybe you need to talk to your family, or some of your friend is unwell or something. But KGP pushes you out of your comfort zone to handle all the tasks at a time. Your seniors will not let you give up on even a single task, be it your society seniors, hall seniors, and all. So yeah, like KGP did teach me all these qualities of multitask management, stakeholder management, time management in that case, being diligent, being a dynamic person. I owe a lot for KGP for teaching a lot of qualities that not only prepared me for BCG but for the entire life, I feel.
That's great. So, now could you please tell me briefly about what were the other campus activities or initiatives which we were a part of?
When I entered KGP in my first year, I joined Communique and Gopali Youth Welfare Society. So I was active part of both Communique and Gopali Youth Welfare Society almost like till the end of KGP. And then I also joined Spring Fest for a while. Then I became a secretary Knowledge Cup in my second year. Contested elections in first year and served as secretary Knowledge Cup in my second year. I was also vice captain Illumination at Mother Teresa Hall of Residence in my second year. And my third year, I started Prayas, which is another extension wing of JYWS, which is like kind of a business development wing through which we supported a lot of rural businesses near IIT Kharagpur campus. And we also generated employment during the tough times of COVID. Post that, I contested for the post of vice president. So I held the position as vice president, Technology Students Gymkhana, for the academic session 2021-2022. Along with that, I was also active part of volunteering groups like Technology Environment Society, Ambar LGBTQI plus ally group. So yeah, these were pretty much my campus involvements during the 5 years of stay.
These were some really nice involvements, I think, which helped you shape your personality. So, could you share me some insights about your motivation and experience contesting for the post of vice president?
Okay, so talking about the motivation to contest for VP, during my third year, I think this 2020 batch was the first batch that had this complete online induction. I got an opportunity to actively engage with 2020 batch, be it during their department freshers or hall freshers or at multiple forums during society selections and all. I was getting to interact with the 2020 batch freshers. On a fine day, one of the 2020 batch freshers called me and said, Devaki, we are a group of 18 people. We want to participate in a case study competition, but we don't have any clue on what a case study competition looks like, or we want someone to help us or lead us. So it was a batch of 18 first years, third year, which was me, and a fourth year. We registered for that case study competition. And the problem statement was how to reopen IIT KGP. And that inspired my vision for KGP at the testing times of COVID. It was a 3 month long case study which allowed us to do a deep dive into the campus. So that helped us if we want to reopen campus, and it involves a lot of logistics, right? From medical related logistics or accommodation, food related logistics to the contingent plan. At the same time, having a special focus on culture reviving. So my motivation has been reopening of campus and reviving of culture. Those two firm words motivated me to contest for the position of VP. At the same time, seeing the struggle of the batches which were coming online and missing the offline interaction and exposure with their batchmates, seniors, or the hall exposure and all. At the same time, the senior batches who were missing the campus or who were missing on that campus interaction. So this did motivate me to contest for the post, but the experience at 1 year, 10 year, it did involve lots of ups and downs with the outbreak of third wave of COVID, where we have seen more than 1,000 COVID cases on campus, dealt with them successfully with the active involvement of all the student volunteers and all. And yeah, like this all happened with the active guidance from my seniors, active support from the batchmates and juniors, that spirit of KGPNs of being together. I think the true strength of KGP is that senior junior interaction, how the culture passes from a senior to a junior. And I think that should go on.
Thank you for sharing that. So, as we all know that the campus was closed for 2 years for the pandemic time, so how did you contribute to the smooth reopening of the campus facilities?
As I mentioned, the case study which I have extensively done for 3 months, how to reopen IIT KGP, that allowed me to go into the nitty gritties of campus reopening, ranging from the test kits or how to quarantine students or how to call them back, on what basis should we call the students back, for how many days should we quarantine them, where should we quarantine them, and after the quarantining, where will we put them, and how we are going to provide food for the students. So all these logistics were thoroughly thought of during the case study. So that did help me during the tenure as well. The case study did come handy. We tried to implement the same thing. So I felt really lucky taking part in a case study competition or winning the case study competition, and I actually got an opportunity to implement all the solutions or the strategies that are proposed for the competition. And we also started some certain central portals to actively track the applications of students. Initially, the criteria has been resource constrained students. We had a portal where students were actively submitting their documents, and then based on the criteria, they were being shortlisted, called back to the campus, and then quarantined, putting them back to their halls. This used to be on a rotational basis. Every week we used to have a new batch of students come in, and then our work on selecting the next batch used to be on roll. So yeah, it was a roller coaster ride. We used to be awake almost till 3 4 a.m. every day to make the list of students, getting it signed from Dean's office, HMC office, submitting it in the quarantine center so as to allow smooth onboarding for the students, just to ensure that they won't face any problems while coming back to their home, which is KGP.
That was a really tough and challenging time, I must say. So, how was the KGP culture of General Championship and Illumination revived at that time?
Okay, talking of my tenure, these two things do have a special place, because ILU is something that happens at a hall level. But at that time, campus was not on full strength. So I think around 30% students were back, but 70% students were still at their homes. And it was impossible for every hall to conduct their illumination with at 30% capacity. So we got approval from administration for a central illumination where all the students came together and we did one illumination for the campus. We took a strong stand and took all the approvals from the administration and did the entire illumination adhering to COVID rules because, as I mentioned previously, also, my motivation was not just to recall students or get campus back with the students or back with life. Life at KGP has a very important or significant role with the culture associated with it. So that year, we took a strong stand that Illu culture should be passed on. Illu Funda should be passed on to the next generations. Hence, we conducted a central illumination where we made sure that the junior batches had illumination funda. Talking about general championship, but it was Gymkhana championship during my tenure because, again, as I said, the campus was not on full strength. So, but again, we did not want to miss on any opportunity to transfer the funda of every culture associated with every hall in every event. So we had the entire general championship with the name of Gymkhana Championship, and we did succeed in our motive to transfer funda and culture.
So it's great to hear how those traditions were revitalized. So, what all challenges did you face as the first female vice president at TSG?
Okay. Okay. That indeed, at the start of my tenure, I was equally excited getting elected as the vice president of Gymkhana because that was the same Gymkhana where I worked as a secretary knowledge cup. And it was all smooth, you know. The secretary knowledge cup just before me was also a female. She was also from my hall. So people have seen her as a Seki knowledge cup and it was very smooth for me. I used to go for my bill submission or event approvals or say auditorium booking, audio visuals and booking. And pretty much I was involved in everything at every role that I took up, be it secretary role or be it hall engagements or society engagement. But I never saw that discrimination or that lens where people see you as a female. They just see you like just another student. But when I did come back to the campus as the vice president of Gymkhana, everyone does have that preset thoughts, right? Ki we haven't seen a female VP till now, and you're going to be the first female VP. They were as excited as me, but at the same time, they were also anxious at the back of their mind. Ki, will she manage all the things? Can she pull off the tough times and all? But at the same time, KGP has been supportive always. So everyone who did have that, question mark, ki, how the tenure is gonna unfold. So they were also as excited as me. At the same time, they did support me to their level best. But what used to feel weird or at times used to feel disheartening is the lens that they used to look through. Well, like why even mentioning that ki, okay, Devaki, you're the first female VP. Let us see how you will handle things. I used to feel weird. It's just another student. How does it matter, be it a male or female, until the things are being done in the best possible way? So that's the only thing which used to feel weird, or else KGP has been supportive in all the ways it can be till date.
So, as we wrap up, what key points of advice would you like to give to your juniors or the freshers?
To all the juniors and freshers, especially considering that after my graduation also I got opportunities to come back to campus during my convocation or during the vice president's conclave. where I got to interact with juniors actively. Especially during VP's conclave, I got to interact with my junior batches. What I understood clearly is the senior junior interaction, which is the backbone for KGP's culture, is truly missing, or I must say that it got weak than it used to be before. Students are hesitating to reach out to people. So Janta, what I say is don't just stick to your rooms or stick to your comfort zone. Come out of your comfort zone, come out of your rooms. Talk to people around you, talk to your seniors, talk to your juniors, and you'll have that learning opportunity everywhere. Your seniors, like if you're talking to a senior, let us say, I used to talk to my department seniors randomly at my hall mess and all. They have gone through, let us say, my department senior has gone through her entire third year, and now she'll talk to me for say half an hour. And in that half an hour, she'll give me the entire learnings or the challenges or the pros and cons of her entire third year. You're getting the gist of a person's entire year in that 10 minutes or half an hour conversation, and that will make your life really easy. Funda, for a reason, is very important. So feel free and comfortable to reach out to people around you, to reach out to your seniors, and just come out of your comfort zone. KGP is a land of immense opportunities and immense learnings. Engage yourself and excel at the fields that you find your passion. So working towards or identifying that passion indeed is a big thing. One day, like in the process of exploring, you will find your passion and work towards that passion, and you will truly set a role model for the nation from this iconic Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. Thank you for having me.